Hey, what's going on? Welcome back. Today I'm going to talk to you about sort of a continuation of the video that I sent yesterday, and I'm going to teach you how to, once you've gotten a number, how to actually get a date with the girl and meet up with her, hook up with her, whatever. So I would say that the first mistake that guys make when sort of setting up a date and trying to get a date is sort of around the idea that they are using outdated concepts. They're using the idea of like dinner and a movie, all these different programming concepts that we have in our head. We think we need to go buy a girl dinner, we need to pick her up at her house, drop her off wherever she needs to be, we need to dress up, we need to buy expensive wine, whatever it is. We need to have really enticing and exciting and very stimulating conversation. And there's too much pressure on that. We think we need to have everything all planned out all night long. Now, there's two sides of this coin. If you fly by the seat of your pants fully and you don't have any kind of plan, it typically doesn't work. But if you plan everything out and you try to make it perfect step by step, that doesn't work either. I'll tell you the downfall of sort of both those sides. If you plan everything out, what you're doing whenever you do that is you're spending a lot of mental energy on setting up this date, setting up this hangout time with this girl. Now, that's good and bad. It's good because you're making sure you cross your T's and dot all your I's, but it's bad because your brain doesn't have the ability to tell the difference between something that you're imagining happening and something that is happening or has happened. So what you do, and this is, our brains are brilliant, but it's got a couple of little tweaks or things that are screwed up on it, and what ends up happening is that you start to plan out this date and you start to imagine how it's going to go, and then you feel like you've already spent this time with her. So this is a really common problem, is that guys will get into, and girls do the same thing, they'll get into an interaction with a woman or a relationship, or they'll hook up, and then they can't stop thinking about this person, and every second that goes by they're sort of building an imaginary relationship in their head with this person, with this woman. So the next time they see each other, the woman, let's say she's busy and she can't hang out, or she can't think about you in that time, but you have, you can't stop thinking about her. The next time you guys see each other, it's going to feel like you've been dating her for several days, but it's going to feel like she just met you a few days ago and she hasn't really thought about you much in between. So the problem is that you'll be on different levels, and when you see each other and that disconnect happens, most of the attraction disappears right there, and there's a lot of serious problems. So in order to keep that from happening, you don't want to over-plan this date. And on the other side, if you don't think about it enough, you'll get into a situation where you really won't have any idea about what you're doing. You'll show up, she'll be like, what are we doing? You'll say, I don't know, and she won't be able to wear what she needs to wear to go there. So you need to have a little bit planned ahead of time, and not different for every woman. You can have the same exact thing that you do all the time. It doesn't matter. I used to have a certain selection of maybe 6 or 7 different places that I liked a lot, and I would just go to these different places with these different girls. Most of them were not restaurants. About only one of them was a restaurant, and I'd only choose that if it was not the first date. So I would say the second thing is that you want to erase the word date from your vocabulary. I mean, I know I just said it a bunch. I just needed you to know what I was talking about, but the truth is you need to get rid of that word. The word date has a connotation associated with it already. It means you're going to take her out and you're going to pay for her stuff, right? Okay, well, maybe you want to do that. I like doing that too. But don't do it unless you've already built rapport with her. If you haven't built a strong amount of rapport, or you're not dating her already, or you haven't slept with her already, I would not buy her dinner. The reason why is because it's a sneaky way to make her feel like she's obligated. There's a concept called the rule of reciprocity. And the rule of reciprocity means that once we give someone something, they feel compelled and obligated to give us something back, right? And what we're doing is we're trying to manipulate women whenever we buy them dinner. We just buy them dinner. Now the problem is that this would work actually, and it used to work, but women have caught on by now. They know that you're buying her, you're buying her dinner so that you hope she's going to sleep with you later. She knows that already. She knows that. She wasn't born yesterday. And so the problem is then you're sort of revealing that you're trying to manipulate her. And when you do that, it screws everything up. Even if you're not trying to manipulate her consciously, which you're probably not doing it consciously, she'll feel like you are, and it'll screw everything up automatically. So you do not want to do that. So instead of using the word date, I would erase it completely from your memory, from your vocabulary altogether, and I would use the phrase hangout. That's it. And I would never say, let me take you on a date. Not unless it is someone that you've already hooked up with a couple of times, or that you built rapport with already, or you flirted with her, she's kind of distant, and you made an emotional connection a little bit, and then you split, and you really want to connect with her again, and she's not biting on any of the other sort of hangout things that you've given her, then throw out the date as a last resort, like a Hail Mary. I mean, you got nothing left. So I would erase that word from your vocabulary, and I would say hang out instead. So if, for example, instead of saying, hey, I wanted to know if you wanted to go on a date on Saturday, right? She'll probably say yeah to that. She probably would, but you'd be stuck in a really bad situation then, and you probably wouldn't have anything happen. The chances that you're going to actually move forward on a date with someone are very, very, very low. The chances that you're going to be able to move forward hanging out with someone are extremely high. So, where your success rate on going on dates may be around 15-20%. So 1 in every 5 girls that you go on a date with, you go further than that on the date. You go further than that. It's more around 60-70% if you hang out with them. The reason why is because they're not going to have to think about feel pressured to think about how they should act, because they're going to have to choose between getting stuff from you for free forever, or going on a date with you and hanging out with you and then hooking up with you. So now, if they don't hook up with you, then they know that you'll keep buying them dinner, And if you don't keep buying them dinner, or let's say that if they do hook up with you, they know that's probably going to stop after that, and they'll have to be in a relationship with you, and maybe they're not ready to decide whether or not they want to do that yet. So the point is that it's easier for them to just hang out with you, go to dinner with you, and keep getting stuff from you than it would be for for them to hook up with you and then feel like they're in a relationship with you automatically. So you want to take that word out of your vocabulary. Next, make use, and very good use, of the power of text messaging once you get the number. There are certain things you can do that will frame the interaction, meaning that she'll start to see you in a different way if you text her a specific thing. And now there are certain things you should, certain things you shouldn't text, but it's too many things to say to get into in this video. So instead of getting into that now, what I'd like to do is I went ahead and added a PDF below, and it's just got some of the texts that I've used and that we've tested over time, my coaches use as well, to engage women and to frame the interaction so that you're starting it off on the right foot. There are texts in there, to show you how to re-engage if she's sort of fallen off the face of the earth. Texts that you send first to make sure she doesn't flake. A bunch of different stuff in there. Just take it all out, digest it, just use it as a quick reference. It's not a very big PDF. Just take you 3 minutes to read over all of them, and just keep it somewhere in your computer. And anytime you need it, just click on it, open it up, look at it, reference it. Maybe even send it to yourself in an email so you can access it on your phone. And then take that and use it, respond back, and make your own new versions of these different texts. Now, the power of text messaging is such that you don't use any of, or majority of your language. So you're not using body language or vocal tonality during this process. And body language is 60% of communication. Vocal tonality is 20%. All you have is this final tiny 20% when you text message. That can work against you if you're trying to build rapport or things like that, but it can work in your favor if you're trying to build curiosity, which is what you want when you're text messaging. So you never want to text something really serious. You never want to text like, oh, hey, I miss you, or I had a great time, I can't stop thinking about you. Don't text that crap. I know it's very romantic sounding, but don't do it. It's going to ruin your chances in the beginning. You don't do that until later. When you've built a relationship and you've committed to each other in some way, shape, or form, whether it's a dating multiple women, or your polyamorous relationship, or a monogamous relationship, or even if you decided just to be friends, don't text stuff that's like really intimate like that. Everything is playful. It can be sexual, but it has to be an innuendo. You don't want to come straight out and be like, I want to sleep with you, or I want to fuck you, or whatever. You don't want to come straight out and say that over text in the very beginning, unless you're absolutely sure that she's very sexually attracted to you and very sexually active as a person, because it's just too risky. It's unnecessary risk. You don't want to take that risk. So instead, use the text that I have written below and sort of build that up. Now, if you're not really a text guy, that's fine. Just send one or two and then stop and then wait till you hang out, or call up. But if you're going to call, do not build rapport over the phone. Never build rapport over the phone. Don't do it. And the reason why is because you miss all of the physical associations and anchors to this trust that you create when you build rapport. So whenever I build rapport with someone, they're standing in front of me, I can touch them, which anchors the trust that they have for me to me touching them, the act of me touching them. So now they trust when I touch them. But if you do it over the phone, you don't get any of that stuff, and you start to build a massive barrier between the two of you, and you fall into the friend zone. So do not do that. So keep in mind, again, you want to hang out and not date. You are not going to be going to places like restaurants and movie and that stuff. It's all outdated. You don't want to use that stuff anymore. Instead, you're going to want to take them to, for example, have them meet you up at a bar. So don't say, I'd like to take you to a bar, or would you like to go to a bar with me? You want to say, and you can borrow this phrase. You can say, well, I'm going to be at so-and-so bar at around 9:30 tonight. If you want to, swing by. It'd be cool to hang out. The end. That's your date right there. They go to the bar. They see you there. You're already there, or you're running late, whichever one you want to be. And you start the interaction just like that. Now, when you get there, of course, you want to introduce yourself to the bartender, introduce yourself to other people that are there, and that way when she shows up, you can introduce her to these people, and she'll be extremely attracted to you for being sort of the social ambassador in the situation. Because remember, women are attracted to social providers and social protectors, meaning people who are basically masters of the social realm. And if you show up to a bar that you've only been to a couple of times, or even if you've been there more than once, she's going to feel very safe and comfortable with you if you introduce her to people. And she knows that you know people there. Otherwise, it's like you're both outsiders, and you start off kind of in a strange, you're both in a strange world, in a strange place. You don't want to do that. So you can do that at a bar. If you met her at nighttime, you got her number at nighttime, try to meet her in the daytime, or at least like before dusk. There are a couple other really cool concepts that I can teach you in a future date, but about when to meet up with women and how to sort of push it forward really easily. But for now, just know that if you met her at nighttime, then meet her during the daytime for the first sort of date or whatever. And if you met her during a social situation for the first time, like lots of people around, try to hang out with her by yourself the second time. And if you met her in a space like online dating or whatever, where it's just you there, then try to meet her in a social situation the second time. So keep that in mind. Whatever the environment in which you get her phone number, whatever that's like, try to do the opposite. So if it's at nighttime at a bar with lots of people, then you want to hang out with her during the daytime by yourself for tea or coffee. I always say tea because tea is just different than coffee. So I like to do that. If you met her at online dating, or you met her during the daytime at a coffee shop by yourself, you want to meet up with her and a bunch of your friends at a bar. So tell her to come hang out with you and meet you out there. So you have to be willing to do that. You have to be willing to switch it up and swap it up in order to make sure that she gets that overall view of who you are as a person, and she begins to trust you a massive amount as you push the interaction forward. So that's it for now. Download that PDF, and I think you're going to enjoy it a lot. And I'll see you in another video tomorrow. I'm going to teach you something phenomenal. I have sort of a technique that I created. I stumbled upon it by complete accident. It's called the Black Book Technique. And I use this technique to basically get girls' phone numbers without ever asking for their phone number. They just volunteer to give me their phone numbers. So really cool technique. Make sure you check that email out tomorrow and watch that video tomorrow. You're going to love it. So just there for you. Comment below if you have any questions. And I look forward to hearing what you have to say about it. I look forward to hearing your response and your success from this technique here. So take care, and I'll see you tomorrow.